I know it's a pain, but read your EULAs. You know those end-user license agreements, the ones most people click agree on and move on? I read them. At the beginning, it just amused me to be the kind of person who read EULAs. Most of them are what you expect. We are not responsible for your unethical, illegal actions using our service. You waive your right to pursue us for anything that goes wrong. This is our data protection policy. You waive your right to privacy. You know, normal stuff. But once upon a time, I came upon something different. You commit your soul unconditionally to the service of hell in perpetuity. You know, I didn't even take it seriously at the time. It was in the license agreement of a popular app, about 2/3 down in the middle of a block of text. Probably a joke. But if they slipped in something like that, what else did they slip in elsewhere? So I didn't accept it. I wouldn't say I was exactly scared at this point, but that little trick had made me more motivated to check these things next time I was presented with a EULA, so I started doing that. And sometimes I would find that line again. Not always by any means, but often enough. Maybe it was some kind of in-joke from someone writing a EULA that got copy-pasted across lots of them, because whoever wrote the EULAs wasn't reading them either. And yet, when I turned down a high-paying job because they didn't let me read the data protection agreement before agreeing to it, I knew I had a problem. I still thought it was with me, but those damned agreements are everywhere, and reading them all carefully takes up a lot of time. But I could handle it mostly, even though it meant I suddenly started being late to things because of delays. Aptitude tests, surfboard rentals, parking tickets, I would delay to read the EULAs, annoying my friends, family, and employers. Surprising how much impact a little thing can have sometimes. It had become a habit, a compulsion, not because I believed I was in any danger, but because no longer trusted EULA writers in general. So far, this is a pretty boring story about my annoying quirks, and a lot of you have probably clicked away. I promise I'm getting to my point, but if you're checking out, please take the title to heart. It might save more than your life. About a year after I became paranoid EULA reader, I was at a bus stop on a cold morning when I was approached by an old man. He didn't look strange. Gray jacket, shirt and tie, smoking a pipe that had an unfamiliar smoky smell, and you get very familiar with strange smoky smells in bus stops in my town. "Hey kid, do you have a few minutes to talk about Satan?" With that opener, I didn't really want to engage, but it's hard to argue that you don't have time when you're literally waiting for the bus. It was just us on a cold, misty morning with no one else in sight. He didn't wait for an answer anyway. "Well, mostly I just wanted to congratulate you for beating the system. Been working pretty well for us, the EULA trick." That, of course, did catch my attention, because how could this stranger know about my EULA fixation? Of course, I actually was getting a weird reputation at the time for possibly the most boring character trait anyone has ever had, so it isn't impossible, but at the time I didn't think of that. The old man went on. "Once upon a time, it was difficult to get a soul to commit to service, because someone has to commit to the kind of evil most people shy from. Or they had to agree to a deal, and most people know not to make deals like that. People knew what a Faustian bargain was, since Marlowe got popular. And the lawyers kept almost as many people out of hell as they put there in the first place. But now people aren't reading the things they sign up for. That's progress. We have more souls than we know what to do with. So why are you telling me this then?" He breathed out smoke, mostly because it doesn't matter. With the volumes we have now, what's one soul, more or less? And also because I'm old-fashioned, and sometimes you just feel nostalgic for the old days. None of this mechanical machine harvesting stuff. There was a time when you had to use craft. There is an art to ruining someone's life with one conversation that the youngsters just don't appreciate, you know? He paused and gave a very sharp smile. Or, "I'm just some old guy screwing with you for the fun of it." Gotta give people a little flicker of hope for true suffering. "Oh, your bus is here." I had never been happier to see a bus driver in my life, and jumped in the door before it finished opening. But I heard the stranger say behind me, "Have a nice life." It took me a while before I dared to look back, but once I did, the bus stop was lost in the mists. So, as you can imagine, I've been doing a lot of thinking about this since. I'm not sure who that person was, but if he was just some scammer, he didn't try to sell me anything. He didn't invite me to his church. My EULA fixation wasn't a secret, but it wasn't like it was widely known, and I haven't seen that man before or since. He didn't get on the bus with me, so if he was waiting for one and improvised, he was willing to wait an hour for the next one, which is a lot of commitment for screwing with a random stranger. I'd been to that bus stop before, but it's not like I'm there regularly. As you can imagine, I've gone full Luddite now because he might be just some random what if he's not. I've gone from wary to paranoid, and it's hard to explain just how many EULAs are necessary in daily life. Some of you are probably thinking I should move to Antarctica or something, but most of those tours require EULAs, and I need to be near a pharmacy due to a medical condition. I've thought a lot about this, but I couldn't figure out what the best move is. If I ruin what's left of my life doing some crazy stunt to raise awareness, that's probably an acceptable outcome for the stranger. But he said Faust made a difference. I had this old Reddit account I forgot about from years back with a weirdly appropriate username. I checked the EULA and it seems okay, but I can't guarantee the one I agreed to years ago was the same. Either way, done is done. So this is one of the few lines of communication I still have that might reach someone, somewhere, and be believed. If I save one person from the stranger, or even if I don't, if I have to answer for this, at least I can say I tried. So, whoever you are, wherever you are, read your EULAs for my sake and yours. It may be more important than you think.